Weekly concept. Ideas in motion. Essential question. How can science help you understand how things work? How does it work? Science can help us understand a lot of things, from how to throw a curveball to what happens when you ride a roller coaster. Look at this picture. What keeps these people from falling out? Let's use science to find out. How do you stay in place during the loop-the-loops? The force created by the acceleration presses you against the seat of the coaster. What kind of rides have you ridden on at an amusement park? Why did you like them? Talk about it. Write words that you have learned about motion. Talk to your partner about a ride that you would design. Vocabulary. Use the picture and the sentences to talk with a partner about each word.
Accelerate. I saw the race car accelerate or speed up across the finish line. Advantage. The father's size gave him a big advantage over his son. Advantage. An advantage is something that is helpful or useful. Advantage. An advantage is something that is helpful or useful.
Capabilities. The capabilities of a potter include strength and creativity. Friction. The friction between the tires and the pavement slows down the airplane.
Friction. Friction is a force between surfaces that slows objects or stops them from moving. Friction. Friction is a force between surfaces that slows objects or stops them from moving.
Gravity. Gravity helps pull the batter down into the baking pan. Gravity. Gravity is a force that pulls objects toward each other. Gravity. Gravity is a force that pulls objects toward each other.
Identity. The woman showed her passport to prove her identity.
Inquiry. Reporters ask questions at the beginning of any inquiry or investigation.
Thrilling. Going on a roller coaster can be exciting and thrilling.
Your turn. Pick 3 words. Write 3 questions for your partner to answer. Genre: narrative fiction. The Big Race. This race car simulator is cool. Let's try it. Essential question: how can science help you understand how things work? Read how Alex and Liam want to use science to help them win a race. Alex and Liam planned to build a car for the soapbox derby. As a result of their inquiry into how to build a fast car, they had come to the Science Museum today for answers. Last week, Alex's mother had called one of the museum's scientists. When they walked into the museum, a woman in a lab coat and inline skates zoomed up and greeted them. "Hi, I'm Clara. Are you the boys who want to know what will make a car go fast?" "Yes, I'm Alex, and that's Liam," Alex responded. "Why are you wearing inline skates, Clara?" Liam asked. "I'm a champion skater," Clara claimed, doing a spin. Then she whispered, "That's not my true identity. I'm a scientist. Skates make it easier to get around. Follow me." It's about speed. "Welcome to our On the Move exhibit," Clara announced as they entered a large room. "So, tell me about the race." "There will be 20 cars in the race. We'll be going down the steepest hill in town," Alex said. "Sounds thrilling. It must be exciting to go fast," Clara answered as she pressed buttons on a machine. "This is a virtual race car, and this screen shows you the virtual race course and your speed. Speed is the distance an object moves in a certain amount of time. I'm Clara. Welcome." Forces at work. Alex and Liam climbed into the machine. Each seat had a steering wheel and a screen in front of it. Clara said, "Since you want to build a fast car, you need to know about forces and how they affect motion." "What's a force?" asked Liam. Clara continued, "A force is a push or a pull. Forces cause things to move or cause a change in motion. When I apply a big enough force on an object, like this stool, it moves. If 2 objects are exactly the same, the object that receives a bigger force will accelerate or increase its speed," Clara said, pushing 2 stools at the same time. "Which stool received a bigger force?" Clara asked. "The one on the right. It went farther," said Liam. "So, giving our car a big push at the top of the hill will cause it to accelerate and go faster," Alex summarized. "A force is a push or pull. There's a sharp curve coming up. I'm going to accelerate now." Gravity and friction. Clara smiled. "Right. Another force acting on your car is gravity. Gravity is a pulling force between 2 objects." Clara took a tennis ball out of her pocket. "When I drop this ball, gravity pulls it towards the floor. It's the same force that pulls your car down the hill. So a big push gives us an advantage over other cars, and gravity will keep us going." "How do we stop?" Liam asked. "You'll need friction. Friction is a force between 2 surfaces that slows objects down or stops them from moving. For example, I lean back on my skates, and the friction between the rubber stoppers and the floor slows me down," said Clara. "Thanks, Clara. The virtual race car was cool. I knew we had the skills and capabilities to win the race, but now we have science on our side, too," Liam grinned. "You need friction." Make connections. Talk about ways that science can help you understand how objects move. How can science help you understand your favorite activities? Reread. When you read an informational text, you often come across information that is new to you. As you read The Big Race, reread key sections of text to make sure you understand them and remember the information they contain. Find text evidence. As you read The Big Race, the concept of acceleration may be new to you. Reread the Forces at Work section on page 66 to help you remember what accelerate means. What's force? Asked Liam. Clara continued. A force is a push or a pull. Forces cause things to move or cause a change in motion. When I apply a big enough force on an object, like this stool, it moves. If two objects are exactly the same, the object that receives a bigger force will accelerate or increase its speed, Clara said, pushing two stools at the same time. Which stool received a bigger force? Clara asked. The one on the right. It went farther, said Liam. So, giving our car a big push at the top of the hill will cause it to accelerate and go faster, Alex summarized. There's a sharp curve coming up. I'm going to accelerate now. I read that accelerate means to increase the speed of something. Rereading will help me to understand and remember this concept. Your turn. What does gravity do? Reread the gravity and friction section of The Big Race to find out. As you read, remember to use the strategy reread. Cause and effect. Text structure is the way that authors organize information in a section. Cause and effect is one kind of text structure. The author explains how and why something happens. A cause is why something happens. An effect is what happens. Find text evidence. I can reread Forces at Work in The Big Race on page 66 to find actions that cause something to happen. Then I can figure out the effects of those actions. Graphic organizer. Cause. Effect. Cause. Clara applies force to one stool. Effect. The stool moves. Cause. Clara pushes both stools. Effect. Both stools move. Cause. Clara applies more force to one stool. Effect. One stool moves farther. Your turn. Reread each section of The Big Race. Find events or actions that cause something to happen and their effects. List each cause and effect in the graphic organizer. Narrative nonfiction. The selection The Big Race is narrative nonfiction. Narrative nonfiction tells a story, includes facts and examples about a topic, often includes text features. Find text evidence. Even though The Big Race reads like a story, I can tell that it is an informational text because it includes facts and text features. Text features. Headings. Headings tell what a section of text is mostly about. Speech balloons. Speech balloons tell what the characters are saying or thinking. Your turn. Find two examples of text features in The Big Race. Tell your partner what information you learned from the features. Context clues. When you are not sure what a word means, you can look at the other words around it to figure out the meaning. These other words, called context clues, may be definitions, examples, or restatements of the word's meaning. Find text evidence. When I read the fourth paragraph on page 66 of The Big Race, I am not sure what the word force means. The phrase, a push or a pull, defines what the word force means. Clara continued, a force is a push or a pull. Forces cause things to move or cause a change in motion. Your turn. Use context clues to figure out the meanings of the following words in the big race. Speed, page 65. Friction, page 67. Surfaces, page 67.
Write about the text. I answered the question, what is the author's purpose for writing The Big Race? In The Big Race, the author's purpose is to explain what will make a car go fast. Alex and Liam want to build a car for the Soapbox Derby. Before they build it, they decide to visit the Science Museum for help. While the boys are driving in a virtual race car, a scientist explains the different forces that affect motion. By the end, the boys know how to build their race car, and the reader understands how forces affect motion. Author's purpose. My first sentence states the author's purpose for writing The Big Race. Sequence. I organize my writing in logical order by using linking words such as before. Grammar. This is an example of a complex sentence. Strong conclusion. My final sentence sums up the author's purpose. Your turn. How does the author explain the concepts of force and gravity in The Big Race?